Greetings, chosen ones, peace and blessings to you all. I hope you're having a wonderful day. In this video, I'm going to be showing how and why they are coming for your children and showing the evil and deception that they are using to do this. So let's get straight into it.
But as a Mason, you are promised immortality. If you go to a Masonic funeral, you will hear them discuss the immortality issue. You will hear them promise that they will go to the celestial lodge above and live there forever. How do they get this immortality? They don't believe in Jesus. The name of Jesus is not allowed to be mentioned in the Blue Lodge of Freemasonry. And while there are probably many Masons in this nation that are either nominal or even professing Christians, that doesn't enter into this discussion because it's not mentioned in the funeral. Where do they get their promise of immortality? Simply, the secret that Crowley uncovered, probably through demonic intervention, is the secret that this immortality is conveyed through tantric sex magic. And the kind of sex magic that we're talking about here, unfortunately, is a sexual violation of a little child. Crowley taught that the way you could live forever was by vampirizing little children sexually. And he personally bragged of having slaughtered 150 male children in 1 year. This is why he was called the wickedest man in the world. And this, I apologize that this is so horrible, but Masons are doing this. Not all Masons, please understand me. Probably 1 in 100 knows about this. But this is a significant enough problem that I feel compelled to share it with you. In our ministry, with one accord, we have had to pray for literally hundreds of people who are the relatives of Masons, either children, grandchildren, nephews, nieces, whatever, and they have been sexually violated by their Masonic relatives, often in Masonic temples. This is why the Masons believe that they will live forever. They think every time they defile a little child, they steal some of that child's youth. And if you notice, children who are sexually abused do age more rapidly because their innocence has been stolen.
When a child goes missing, the Amber Alert system can make a huge difference in a terrifying situation. The Georgia Masons provide the Georgia Chip program free of charge as a public service and as a gift to the citizens of our state. Ross Laver explains.
The GA Chip program provides information to a parent that they can use to provide to police in the event that a child or a person becomes missing. In the package that they receive, they get a CD. The CD has photos, fingerprints, a video interview, which is very important. The photos are forensically correct photos, speaking particularly that everybody's ears are different. So there is a shot of each ear, which is clear and determinable, as well as the demographics of the child, height, weight, age, parent's name, address, and phone number. In addition to that, within the kit, there is an appliance. We use a dental appliance that contains DNA and scent, as well as the child's dental impression. Perhaps most important of those is the scent, because with scent, we're hoping to be able to track that child and return them as quickly as possible.
We gather the information together, run it into the computer, copy it off on a CD, and then all the data goes right back to the parents to be kept, maintained until hopefully they'll never need it, but if they do need it, it'll all be available for them there in a single package. They can turn the package over to the local law enforcement, and in a matter of minutes, nationwide, their picture will be on the news.
So I'll just let this little picture speak for itself, really, because this is exactly the kind of outcome they are hoping for, because this is exactly what Freemasons are pushing. You know, they want your children. They want access to your children, and they will come up with all kinds of deceptions to do that. Well, we heard earlier on how Freemasons like to exploit children in their own deviant demonic rituals for their own demonic agenda of immortality through sexual abuse. The perfect scenario for them is for everyone to have their child microchipped Now, they're already collecting a ton of data and information on people's children that are unwise enough to offer them up for this service. They're collecting all kinds of data, DNA, and my words, it won't stop there. Why are they calling it CHIP if that is not the ultimate goal? It's supposed to stand for Child Identification Program, but why call it CHIP? Because this is exactly what they are hoping they will be able to do. One of the deceptions they are hoping will help push this agenda forward is the recent movie The Sound of Freedom. So ever since this movie came out and was pushed on the masses, you've had these so-called viral videos going out there of people saying, oh, they're tampering with the lights and the air conditioning systems in the movie theatre. Oh, they don't want us to watch this movie and all kinds of BS like that. The powers that be don't want us to see this movie. It's all scripted theatre. It's all a psychological operation. It's all promotion for this Masonic movie. If they didn't want this movie made, it wouldn't exist. Simple as that. So I did my part. I was on comment sections of various platforms, social media, telling people not to buy tickets and give their money to the people behind this movie, which in itself is some sort of limited hangout operation, where they're saying, oh yeah, child trafficking exists. Well, anyone who's been paying attention already knows child trafficking exists. But, to the average normies out there, the normies, the lost, the normies that are still sleepwalking through life, as well as, the half awake, the ones I'd call the fake awake, who are still falling for a majority of these psyops and the various people's champions that are presented to them by the Masonic network. The ones that see that there are strange and criminal things going on, but still believe in things like the left-right political paradigm. That still believe, a ton of the deceptions that they are having pushed on them. They don't ever seem to get it. Whereas they think, this is a movie exposing what's going on. No, it's not. It's to push an agenda and make a ton of money off of the masses in the process. It's pushing a Masonic agenda. It's a part of a psychological operation to put the idea in the minds of people that, there's all these dangerous child traffickers out there, which there are, but the very ones behind this movie are the ones doing it. And they're the ones that are going to be offering the quote-unquote solution, which will be to database and eventually microchip everyone's children. It's classic problem, reaction, solution tactics. So, in this poster itself, you can see the Masonic calling card right there. You can see right here the black and white symbolism representing duality, same colours as the checkerboard floor that they have on the floor of Masonic temples. So we've had all these viral videos out of people supposedly saying how they'd gone to watch this movie at the theatre and they kept switching the lights on and turning the air conditioning up and down. They really don't want you to see this movie. It's all BS. There's not a video that goes viral unless those that operate the platforms want it to go viral. It's just promotion and advertising for this film. I did my part, on various comment sections on different platforms, when this film was talked about or these said viral videos about, they really don't want us to see this film. We should support this film. I'm like, do not keep giving these people your money. Okay? And this is the problem. People, and even people who claim to be awake, I call them the fake awake, simply don't understand how the world works and how Freemasonry works and operates. So this movie is supposedly about this guy, Tim Ballard. So a bit of information about Tim Ballard. So he was a US government special agent for the Department of Homeland Security for 12 years. And he's briefed politicians, including Donald Trump. And I would argue that you're never an ex-government agent. So he founded this non-profit organisation called Operation Underground Railroad. a name which I find a bit suspect. So recently he stepped down from Operation Underground Railroad due to some allegations. And he recently refuted allegations that he was a Freemason. Now, I can't prove he is a Freemason, so I'm not going to say he is a Freemason, but the fact that this movie is being made about him and being so high up in a government agency suggests he is part of the club. So we take a little look at this website here. So we exist to rescue children from sex trafficking and exploitation. And this is the thing about organisations like this and all these non-profits and things like that, is they're all really just fronts for government and Masonic operations. See, and that's the other thing about these organisations and all these charities. Really, they just exist as like honeypots, as a way of covering up and controlling what is actually going on without suspicious eyes falling upon them. If you say you're out there protecting kids, you can actually run the operation yourselves, and there's a thing in the UK here called Childline, which operated in exactly the same way. Any children coming forward, they could silence them, bribe them, silence them, shut them up from ever exposing the truth of what's going on. So we've had like Mel Gibson come out and, throw his support behind this movie and promote it. And, this is the thing, they promote a persona that they're on your side, that they're the lone voices, the mavericks in the Hollywood system that are fighting against the system, and they're out there trying to expose the truth, and they're being held back. What you got to understand is these people are always acting. They act in movies, but outside of movies, they are still acting, and people don't seem to grasp that. The whole world is a stage, okay? And these people never stop acting. So let's take a little look at these couple of clips. We've got a clip of Mel Gibson, promoting this movie. And yeah, for years he's had this thing since he did Passion of the Christ that the whole of Hollywood is against him and all of this BS, and I'll never work again, and there's and it's all theatre, right? Because they need to supply the public, the masses, with their heroes and their champions. They need to have someone who the masses can believe is in their corner, and this is what Freemasons have done from the beginning. So let's watch these couple of clips here of Mel Gibson promoting Sound of Freedom, and the star, Jim Caviezel, another one that's regarded as a hero because he played Jesus Christ in a movie. But it seems like a lot of people can't get it straight in their head. To make a movie about Jesus Christ doesn't make you Jesus Christ. You're just an actor and a deceiver, basically. So let's watch these couple of clips now.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children.
I'd like to work again, but...
See, I'd like to work again, Hollywood is so against me. This guy's not stopped working his whole career. He's done on average about 3 movies a year, right? But they'll put this perception that, he's struggling and he's against it all. And he's promoting this, he's starring in this Masonic movie. And as we'll see, him and Mel Gibson are Freemasons themselves.
I'd never been a guy who would sell his soul to get...
He'd never be a guy to sell his soul, right?
Money or fame.
For money or fame. Really? That's exactly what you have done. Right?
Wasn't it?
And here it is. This is how the Freemasons communicate, through signs and symbols. What do we see here? Master of the second veil, the hidden hand, one eye symbolism, And who else is doing it? Jimmy Savile. Well, anyone who knows anything about him knows what he got up to. Stalin. How many tens of millions of people did he murder? Lenin, the same? Yeah. Great guys. So this is it. This is the whole agenda behind this movie. As we can see with this doctored poster, it's a more accurate and fitting name for this movie, Sound of Freemasonry. This is what it's all about. You know, they want your children. They want your children for their sick practices. You know, and there's some that will argue, well, you know, I've seen Freemasons and they've only done good things in the community. Well, I would argue that you're only seeing half of the picture. Masons are all about the duality. They believe they can commit monstrous acts. But then, you know, by doing a few good deeds for charity, they can balance it all out and negate their evil. You know, there are a lot of people out there who are getting involved in Freemasonry, have no clue what it's really about. You know, they're only seeing the light side. They're not seeing the dark side, because that is being kept hidden from them, mainly from an absence of their own due diligence. But people like me are here to expose that dark side. And just to round off, I'll leave you with a quote from the head of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Albert Pike. Make no mistake, these people are Satanists. You know, and I think one of the most important things a person can do that has awareness of this is to expose Freemasonry for what it is. And that's what I'm doing. So I think I'll leave it there. So if you found this video interesting or informative, do leave me a like. Do share this video with anyone you think would benefit from seeing it. Do consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already done so. Do leave me any comments you have in the comment section below. And I will see you again on the next video. Bye bye for now.